So you guys play twin brother and sister. Do you want to talk about why maybe Nick confides more in his sister Margot than in his wife Amy?
It's a good question. Really, he's closer to his sister. You know, he was with his friends with his sister. Obviously, from birth, there's a line about them being together before birth. He's grown up with her. They're super, super close. This marriage kind of divides them because she doesn't really like his wife. Mm-hmm. But then as he grows alienated from his wife, he migrates back toward his sister again. And I think that happens a lot of times. Marriages take place and they kind of push out people who might not be that into the marriage. And as the marriage dissolves or fractures, those people are kind of welcomed back into the nucleus of the relationship.
And siblings are sort of forged in the same crucible. You come from the same damage, you've developed your coping mechanisms, and you kind of just know where the other person is coming from. And I think there's something really special about it.
So speaking of marriage, what does Gone Girl teach us about the ideal of marriage versus the reality in this case?
I think the ideal is really dangerous. I think we do have expectations about what marriage should be. I think our weddings show what our expectations are about what it looks like, or what it's supposed to be. And I just think, well, maybe you got a few things coming to you if you're going to subscribe to those things.
Yeah, I think it teaches us that it's very different than our expectations. It teaches us that honesty is really important. It teaches us to repair damage before it festers and becomes infected, which is what happens in this marriage. Well, at the same time, I don't think it's trying to be a didactic movie. You know, it's talking about one marriage and one situation that, frankly, is way beyond the scale of any of our marriages. Yeah, exactly. Unless you happen to be accused of killing your wife or your wife disappears. And but it is asking hard questions about what we show our partners in courtship, after that, you know, why we feel the need to project different versions of ourselves than is probably honest. And I think those are pretty unique, interesting questions that I don't see a lot of other movies in the market right now asking. So I think it's a kind of a unique cinematic experience right now.
And talking about expectations, the media is kind of another player in this movie. Why do you think the media tries to portray Nick as guilty?
I think it's sort of sexier. The media likes to assign guilt. The media likes to find villains. The media likes to play blame, particularly the sort of, you know, the tragedy-hungry cable media that's, you know... you notice these people are never really portrayed as innocent in any of whether it's O.J. or Casey Anthony or Zimmerman or whoever it is. The assumption is always of guilt. Even Richard Jewell, who actually turned out was innocent, you know, was played for guilty. And that's because, I think, the prurient aspect of the coverage, the judgmental, sanctimonious aspect, is what makes people identify with it, makes them feel good. Yeah, we're better than them.
Yes,
Can you believe this?
Very
reassuring. We're going to milk this outrage for all it's worth and for all the ratings that it's worth. And because news and entertainment are now completely overlapping, you have you have a real issue with credibility in news.
Hey movie fans, Valerie here with a cool Avengers movie fact. Did you know that the SHIELD research facility was actually NASA's Planbrook Station, the world's largest space environment simulation chamber used to test rocket engines and space stations? Also housed at the station is a hypersonic tunnel facility and cryogenic propellant tank. Wow, now that's pretty amazing. That's it for today. Subscribe to keep up to date on all the latest releases, and remember, walls have ears. Bye bye.